Hey, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're here today with another challenge run, this time back in Hardcore. We're running solo self-found on our warrior rummager, and what we're going to be doing is when a piece of loot drops from a mob, we are forced to equip that loot. As far as I know, warriors can use everything except for wands, so it gives us a big range of what to equip. Any armor type, any weapon type other than wands, as presuming we have this training learned, of course. I'll be uploading these in a compilation. I'm not going to say it's every 10 levels like the Warlock was going to be, which I'll talk about that in a minute. But I will, try to put it in a few levels for sure. I think this first one should be 1 to 10, but we'll see how long it ends up being by the end of this edit. So let's talk about exactly how it works. So we're going to use every drop that drops. So if a one-hander drops, we're forced to put on the one-hander. If we have the best plate in the game and a cloth chest drops, well, I guess we're using that cloth chest. So it's going to have pretty wide swings on how much int I have, how much strength I have, how much agi I have, what weapon I'm using, a lot of spikes. To circumvent certain situations with weapon training, what I'm going to do is I will allow myself to pick up a weapon from a vendor and farm gray mobs specifically that do not give experience. To level up weapon skill, because if I'm, two-handed axes, I just learned it, a two-handed axe drops, I'm in a cave, 1 out of 70 two-handed axes, I'm dead. A warrior is not living that cave, especially with random gear. So, essentially, what I'm going to be doing is just farming the gray mobs with it. If those gray mobs drop a weapon, once I am done the farm, I have to use that weapon. So there's also a risk to it, where I'm just going to have some dog shit weapon from 7 levels ago. And I have to use that now, but it does provide a little safety net where the run doesn't immediately end, or I have to hearth out, which may or may not happen once or twice. But so there is that risk where I have a good weapon, I'm ready to do this quest, but I want to take precautions. So there's that. If an item drops and I cannot use it, and the only time that would happen is it's a wand, or I don't have the weapon training for it, because obviously it's solo self-found. I'm level 9. I can't run a Stormwind and then buy all the weapons. It's not, it doesn't work that way. So, if I can't use it, I can't use it. We'll do our best to quickly pick up as many weapons as we can, but we're not making it to Ironforge or Stonewarden until level 18, most likely, so might be a bit of a wait on those. But Warrior starts with Dagger and Mace and Sword, I think. So, it's pretty good, and we pick up Staves and bows here in the Night Elf area. So it is fine, but it might take a little bit to get going, and I think the run will get more interesting as we get later in. The weapon types are going to be diverse, and there's a lot of weapons that, or an armor too, that doesn't get used, that will be forced to use. I'm thinking the dagger in Duskwood that drops from the spiders is a pretty good dagger, but it just gets outclassed by so many things that you don't end up using it at that point. With the Warlock, it was a fun run, and I did want to do it, but it was a second melee Warlock run, and we already did it, so we were wanting to use the auction house to see how powerful a melee Warlock can get, but the population kind of died down, and it's a little bit harder to abuse other players when other players aren't playing, you know what I mean? So, temporarily on break, maybe we'll revisit it, maybe I'll do a solo melee Warlock. I do find the solo self-found runs way more fun than using the auction house. But I think that's pretty much it for the start here. Quest items, I will say, are not mandatory, so if I finish a quest, I do not have to use that item, and this is to prevent, it's just not going to be a fun playstyle, where, oh, I'm going to skip this quest because it gives a bad reward. It's kind of dumb, but you can't skip mobs to, not have it drop something. You're going to have to kill something eventually. But quests you could skip, and I'll just grind 100 mobs instead, and that just doesn't sound fun. So that's it. I will leave you past me. We're on the recording one out, and I hope you have a good time. If you have any feedback, let me know, and enjoy the video.
Can I let's turn this quest so we can do all the other quests in the area while we're also doing this one. A little bit out of order, but I actually think it'd work out a lot better. We don't have to go too far out of our way. Ooh, new shield. Alright. Take that. No, we're actually done on mushrooms. And we're also done on Felmos, so we can go ahead and head in.
Ah, the great outdoors.
We'll pick up these legs. Ah, new pants to replace our pants that we just picked up. Unlucky, that's okay. So part of the nice thing about starting elf is that you automatically get swords, which normally you have to be in the human area for. But we get it by default, just because it's our starter weapon. We have maces and daggers, which is great, so that covers 3 of the big ones. And then you can also pick up staves from running to the Night Elf City, to Darnassus. And you can pick up staves from there. So it should give us a nice spread of weapon types. I think axes we'll need the dwarf area for, though there's not really a lot of low-level axes. From what I remember, they're both the items we need. Let's get rid of these healing herbs and these bracers. Okay, on our way back, we're going to do the Night Sabers. Just need one more of these sabers. There's our ragged vest. Get rid of these pants. Put on the vest, which I think is actually a massive upgrade, because we didn't have one before. So our armor should be really high. Yeah, 22%. Pretty good. Okay, and then we need the spiders, but we can do that later. I just want to hand in these other quests first. So we have 5 minutes, but that's a lot of time. Let's go and sell and learn our charge.
I am honored.
Okay, so we picked up charge, which is great, and we've also picked up rend. I do have a theory that if you can get this full rend time, 9 seconds, you'll be more damage than pressing Heroic Strike. Because 1, it is 5 less mana, or 5 less rage rather, and on top of that, it's also not taking up your rage spot, so you can get more rage, which right now doesn't matter. But at level 6 we pick up Thunderclap, which might not be a really commonly used ability when you're leveling, but if we think about it, Thunderclap should also be better than Heroic Strike. Right? So Thunderclap is 10% attack speed slow. So you could think 1 of every 10 attacks is completely mitted. So if you're fighting a cat and it swings at, I don't know, 1.5, whatever it is, just for math simplicity, let's say 2. Swings 1 time every 2 seconds. So it'll take 10 hits. So it'll take 20 seconds of combat to mitigate 1 full attack, which doesn't sound like a lot, but combine that with melee kiting, walking backwards between hits, and this thing really adds up. The other thing as well is it does 10 damage. Heroic Strike does 11 damage. Heroic Strike costs 15 rage, and Thunderclap costs 20 rage. So, it does the same damage, essentially. Technically it's 10% more in Heroic Strike, but, essentially the same. But you may say, okay, well, Heroic Strike costs 15, and this costs 20, and it does less damage. But you're also gaining rage on that swing, right? So, how much rage are we getting a hit? Off the top of my head, I want to say 10? 6? Okay, we get 6 rage. So that means that if we subtract 6 from this, it's 14 rage for 10 damage versus 15 rage for 11 damage. But this comes with a slow. It's AoE, if that comes up. Let's go ahead and pick this up. Really good vest for us. So that is something to look at. And I do think that generally, Heroic Strike is not good, and it is better to press Thunderclap. Now, that map does change a little when you get 21 damage off this. It does double the damage, so even though it costs less rage, blah, 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 at that point it is better to press Heroic Strike, right? But at the point where we get... I guess it's really only relevant here at this stage, because later on you get, 32 damage off Heroic Strike, and the second rank of Thunderclap is here at 18, and it's 23 damage. So it's like, do you want to trade 1 rage to do 9 less damage and give a little slow? Maybe. If you're fighting multiple mobs, that would make a lot of sense. Because this, at 2 targets, does way more than Heroic Strike, right? But generally, for living purposes, it is better to focus 1 target down. Ooh, we get a belt. That should probably drop us a little, yeah. I'm going to start cleaning out this cave. And then what I'm going to do is hearth back and come back here. There's something also to think about when it comes to rage efficiency versus time to kill. Whereas here, I'm trying to clear out as fast as I can and hearth before everything respawns. So I want to be Heroic Striking, because these fights, in theory, should not last very long. There's some gloves. But now that I don't have a lot of rage to spend, I'm going to be holding. Let my charge come back up. Try to be as rage efficient as I can. There's some gloves we will equip. Spend all of our rage. Equip those gloves. I'm gonna wait for my charge. Still need a few more venom sacks. I think there's a lot to look at with Warrior that isn't really explored all that much, to be honest. I am a big fan of improved Rend. I think Rend keeps up with Heroic Strike pretty well, as far as I remember. So, for example, we look here. Trying to see if it's too far of a gap. I don't think level 10 versus level 16. So it's 32 damage, right? On Heroic Strike, a level 16. So this is 6 levels later, because you get rank 2 Rend at 10. So 6 levels later, you have a Rend that does 28 damage versus a Heroic Strike that is 32. But Rend costs a lot less. Rend also benefits from improved Rend. And again, that's 10 levels later. If we look at this one, it's 45 damage versus 32. There's some bracers. So I think Rend is really good. I actually think Overpower is really good. I think Stance Dancing while you're leveling is really good. I think you should be using your Overpower procs, obviously. You should be using your Revenge procs. There's a time and place for Thunderclap. I'm just going to face pull this mob. Aggro Radius. I think Mocking Blow, something you should press on cooldown. I don't see a lot of people press that. It's a 10 rage, 22 damage. Oh, or pants there that I should be equipping. We did end up clearing this out kind of slow, but I'll take the same route where I herf now. A lot of people herf after this quest, but I don't think you need to. That's really good. I'm gonna take the sword. I think technically one of the other options is more damage, but we'll keep with the sword since we have a lot of skill for it. But yeah, Mocking Blow, really strong. I think Demoralizing Shout is really strong. Like, look at this, level 14 is 35 AP. That's 17 strength. That's kind of crazy, right? If that's a 2-to-1. If it's a 1-to-1, it's 35. But yeah, 35 AP is nuts. I think the later we go, the more interesting this kind of build will be, because you open up dual wielding and ranged, and our armor values are going to be jumping up and down. Because if we get a one-hander that comes out and we have the option to then dual wield with it, if a one-hander drops, we have the option to use a shield if we're just wearing all cloth and, you know, the gear is not where we want it to be. Use a shield. We have a lot of options. Ragged gloves. That will be a downgrade for us, unfortunately. That's alright. Let's go ahead and pull the big boy. Raid belt, which is what we're wearing. Okay, everything here should be dead, so let's just make room for the egg. Okay, let's pick up this quest to head to Dalaran. Well, Dalinar. Alright, we'll grab the delivery quest. Let's just take a look at our gear, kind of where we are, and we'll see if we get anything new. Got a nice flimsy cloak, vest, cloth bracers, quest sword, quest shield, gloves, belt, pants and boots. Did it also clear out my inventory? I'd like to be able to find a bag. That would be really, really good. And on the way to town, we'll just kill some of these. Hopefully pick up some quest items. Don't want to pull the double. Level 6. A little scared, not gonna lie. I will grab this owl though. I'd love to see the block, just to keep us going. One feather is good. I found the owls. Should take a while. The spider's clapping. Let's go ahead and pick up these quests. I want to pick up first aid while I'm here as well. One of the things we have to pick up is parry, so I'm down to skip that. Because first aid is a silver. And I would rather have first aid than pick up parry, I think. Thunderclap's really good at this level. Better than pressing Heroic Strike, at least until 8. You know what, I actually remembered why I don't have Battle Shout here, and it's because I have Meld here. Shift X is shoot. So where do I put Battle Shout? I could put it on Mouse Wheel, honestly. Not a terrible spot for it. Grab ourselves Thunderclap. Oh, we're not level 6 yet. I lied. Let me hand in this quest, and then we'll grab Thunderclap. That's what I would say. That did not level us up. Okay. I know of cooking there's a quest to pick up as well for the spiders, but I think cooking's a silver. Yeah, I'd rather have Thunderclap, I think. You know, cooking is something that I might be interested in doing. The stamina you get is kind of huge. You can easily get 40 stam by level 20. Warriors do have a lot of health, but I actually still think it's really powerful. You can combine it with fishing. Yeah, might not be a bad idea, honestly. I'm kind of for it. Also unlocks a few quests, which are pretty easy to do. The most annoying part about cooking is just keeping the buff up, to be honest. Okay, there's our T-clap. Put that here. There's some bracers. Finding a bag would be huge too. I'd like to pick up weapon skills pretty early for the run, just so that way I can use anything that drops. But if I don't have bags, it makes it a little difficult, and I'll have to spend some silver on that. Which is not really what I'm looking to do. I need to be careful of the aggro radius. It's a bit bigger, I think, than in the starter area. These mobs hit a lot harder. I think Urson over there will definitely give me an item that I can use. I just have to fight my way over. I don't think anyone else is going to snag it. This area is not looking the most populated. I could have held that Thunderclap, actually. Surprised I didn't pull this, but he will pat back into me once he gets to the house. Maybe it might be good to stock up on some rage. He's patting back into us now. I'll hold my rage here. Is what I would say. Okay. I will not be holding my rage. That heroic strike was fucking wild. Hit me for 20. Ouch. I could have killed him there, but I don't want to risk anything. Okay, don't hold your rage. Got it. Nice. We get some 36 armor legs. Not bad. Let me get rid of this bill. Ooh, BOE legs too. Look at that. Okay, we're gonna pull 2 here. Just a little scary. I want to get the Thunderclap out as soon as I can. I think I actually have to leave. I should have face pulled. Well, I can Ren kite them. Okay, that works too. And we instantly replace our BOE pants. That fight did not quite go the way I wanted it to, but we take it. If I had more rage going into it, I actually think it would be a lot easier to do. Again, really looking for another bag. That would be huge. So hopefully we can find a drop. There's no quest that gives us a 4 slot here, as far as I remember. I know in the human area there is. I think in the dwarf area too. But the night elves, I don't think have a free bag you get. It's very sad. It's okay though. It's those kind of differences that make playing each race a little more interesting, right? If everyone got the same thing, it'd be a little boring. Let's get rid of this cracked eggshell. being a little greedy over health, but a lot of quote-unquote close calls, but it hasn't been too bad. We haven't been that greedy. Just taking a little bit of risks for speed. Okay. That is done. We can go get the follow-up. Okay, let's get this quest for the cones. Turn this in for the relics quest. I don't really know if we'll be doing that, but you know, we'll see where we end up. Let's make these 2 bandages. So while we have these quests in, as of right now, my thoughts are I do not want to do any professions. I want to do cooking, and I want to do first aid and fishing to help with cooking. But otherwise, I'm not really interested in doing the rest of it. That's nice. You showed up here, so we don't have to get her later. I don't think I want to do engineering. I don't think I want to do anything else. Now, if you know you're playing on hardcore and you really want to finish and that's your goal, then yes, I do advise you to do engineering and alchemy and whatever, the dual profession. But for me, I do just want to play, and I think cooking and fishing will take off enough time, and I do enjoy fishing in this game, so it's not a big deal, but they'll take up enough time from leveling where I don't really want to add doing engineering on top of that. I'll just end up doing things that aren't leveling more often than actually leveling. I only need 7. Okay. I can sell the rest. I don't want to use this. Not really. I mean, I'm going to be leveling it through cooking anyway. I'd rather just have the little silver now. This is really nice, though. For food. Get rid of the eggs. But, yep, those are my thoughts for now. I'm just interested in fishing and cooking, and not really so much alchemy and engineering at this point, just because they take a little bit too long to do.